Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's your girl 40 Shades, and today I want to talk about a topic on um, how being a driver manager has made me a better driver. Now, I'm not sure if a lot of you guys know this, but before I became a driver, I was first a driver manager for the last 3 years. And in turn, I had about 50 drivers under me, but I also had an account where I worked with the logistics provider, and then I also had about 50 to 60 dealerships that I delivered to on a daily basis. So basically, I was the go-to when routes were running late, dealerships were looking for their freight. I was the one they called. Now, luckily, with that account, it was a dedicated account. So Monday night through Friday night, we ran. I'm trying to say, as far as we ran about a total of 7 states. So we did about 7 states nightly. Majority of my drivers were team drivers because we did have to go to those states like Montana and Utah and El Paso every day. So we had to put teams on those. And what I've learned as being a manager, one is the importance of sleep. Being a manager and being behind the desk, of course, I had my days when it was challenging, days when it had snowed and I had drivers stuck out there, and I still had to come up with a plan for the next night to have the next night freight go out. But nothing compares to, not sleeping properly in my truck. And like I said, being a manager, I didn't know that. But then once I became a driver and working the night shift, I started to learn that I had to adjust my schedule because for the last, I want to say 20, 25 years, I've always worked 6 a.m. to probably a 3 p.m. schedule for the last 20 years. So to adjust my schedule from 4 p.m. to a 4 a.m. over the last, I want to say 8, 9 months has definitely been an adjustment for me. But back to what I was saying is one, knowing the importance of sleep. As a manager, I didn't know that. So hearing that from drivers, how they use earplugs, how they use IMAX, how they made the room completely dark, helped me transition into that. Second off, the weather. Being a manager, I had to look at the weather in advance before my drivers went out because I had to in turn go back to my customers to tell them, okay, weather looks good and all my drivers are available to go out on time with no issues on perfect days. Now, when wintertime came, this is when I actually had to execute a plan of making sure I had extra drivers available just in case another set of drivers got shut down on the highway. For instance, I-80, when the road was closed due to bad weather, I still had to have another driver or team to go out the next night. So I had to use NOAA, which is a weather station that I had online, and I had to almost predict 12, 24 hours in advance based on what they showed me on what driver capacity I needed to have. So learning the weather early on as a manager helped me become a better driver because now I know how far in advance I can look for weather and then also how to plan where to pull over if I get stuck in weather. Next, another way I would say being a manager, how's it helped me being a driver? Oh, yeah. Basically, we actually had a system as the trucks became more up to date in advance. We had Qualcomms and then frontward facing cameras. So anytime one of my drivers had a hard braking or a stability control, I received an email saying, okay, your driver, when they went around the corner, they got a stability control, or when your driver was driving down I-70, they got a hard braking. First, I had to call the driver and find out what happened. Then I actually had to go back into the computer, use the camera, and actually see for myself. Now, granted, I gave my drivers the benefit of the doubt when I asked them the first time what happened. And then I'd go back in the camera, and sometimes that's not what it was. So, of course, then I had to counsel them on not telling the truth. But neither here or there, learning that portion of hard braking and stability control has allowed me to, one, when I go around a curve or an off-ramp, I know to go 5 to 10 miles below the posted speed limit because that's what I teach my drivers to do so they wouldn't get a stability control. And for hard braking, we're telling our drivers to give yourself enough distance from a car or a truck so if they do react in front of you, you're not hitting your brakes and getting a hard braking. Because over time, if my drivers got so many hard brakings and stability controls, they had to come in and get with the driver trainer, a driver trainer, which was Dispy. That's how I met him. I met him at work, and he was our driver trainer. So anytime we had new drivers that were onboarded, they had to go through him. Anytime they had an accident, they would go see him. Anytime they had multiple hard brakings, critical events, stability controls, they went to him. So that also helped me learn that better. So a driver couldn't pull, the wool over my eyes saying, well, no, a deer jumped out in front of me and that's why I got a hard braking. Well, no, I learned that by using the frontward facing camera, it actually played the first 30 seconds of the video before the hard braking and the last 30 seconds of the hard braking. So I got to see 1 full minute of exactly what happened before, during, and after. And you could always see a car was right in front of them and they were way too close when they did their hard braking. So that taught me myself to be more mindful when I'm getting close to people, making sure that I'm giving that 7 to 12, seconds of distance between me and another vehicle. Now there's probably a few more things that I've learned, but I don't want to make the video longer than it is, and maybe I'll do additional videos. But it's really helped me become a more conscious driver, because it helped me realize that being a manager, even though I told my drivers to do certain stuff, I never knew the reason behind it. So that didn't do me any good if I'm trying to preach something but I wasn't learning myself. So now that I'm using those same skills here behind the wheel, to me, I think I'm 50% to 60% better than a normal new driver would be, because a new driver wouldn't know about a stability control until they have it. A new driver wouldn't know about, maybe checking the weather as often as they did until they got into a bad situation. So this has helped me. So I say I give kudos of being a driver manager before coming a driver, and I got a lot of kickback, because when I was telling people that's what I was doing, they're like, well, why are you leaving your manager job to go be a driver? I mean, and they didn't get it, but for me it was like, okay, I wanted to do the travel, being with my husband was a major play in it, and they're like, well, you can make more money doing a manager than a driver. And when I find out being an owner operator, well, that's the opposite, and numbers are here or there, but it's definitely not saying less stressful as a manager, because you still have to be very engaged with the driving public and the weather and road construction and other things that may be a distraction, but it is still well worth it, knowing that no matter what job you take, driver, manager, driver, customer service rep, warehouse, any job is not going to be easy. Nobody's grass is always greener, because we always have to put the work into it. But it's what you get out of it, how you make your day. If you're positive about how your day is going to go, within the rest of your day turns out positive. But if you start your day going out negative, guess what? You'll find every reason why you don't like something. So those are my few tidbits about what I learned as being a driver manager, and then how it's helped me become a better driver. Like I said, if I can think of some more stuff, I would definitely do another video, a part 2 about it. But I definitely wanted to at least let you guys know why it was on my mind, because like I said, in the next couple of weeks, I'll be on my year of truck driving school. So I want to kind of go back and revisit that and kind of talk about my experience and what I've learned thus far. But like always, please make sure you guys like, comment, and share. And if you already have not hit the notification button, please do, so anytime we get a video out to you guys, you will be the first to know. I'm about 20 more minutes on my 30-minute break, so I'm going to go ahead and eat my little lunch here. We're doing a green smoothie 10-day cleanse, me and Dispy, so the food we get is like rabbit food and green smoothies. But as you guys can see, on the month of vacation we eaten good, and I'm not gonna say necessarily all bad, but we've eaten really good, and it's time to get back on track. So till next time, you guys be safe out there, and I'll see you next time.